So do you have an interval international deposit that's getting ready to expire soon? And you're thinking about maybe extending it? Well, in today's video, I'm going to tell you why you should never pay a fee to extend an interval international deposit and what you should use instead. Let's talk about it right after this. Hello and welcome to Destination Timeshare. I'm Jeremy. Today we're going to talk about what you should be doing, why you shouldn't be extending interval international deposits, and what you should be using instead. If you've ever noticed when you go to extend an interval international deposit that maybe it's going to be expiring soon, you're worried that you'll lose it and you're wanting to extend it. When you go to actually extend it, you'll see that the fees are $109 to extend for 6 months, $199 to extend for 12. I actually did a full video about fee changes for interval international. It actually took effect at the beginning of 2022. I'll put a link to that video right up here. But yeah, those fees are actually pretty expensive. And something else to keep in mind, this is an important detail. When you extend a deposit, it becomes what they call flex change restricted, meaning you can only trade for other weeks within a 59-day window. So right now it's April, and if you're looking to travel, you can only travel out through June and exchange out through June with that flex change restriction. So this is a way to get around that, much cheaper than $109 and $199, and you shouldn't have that flex change restriction on the extension. I'll call it the extension with quotes because it's not really an extension. It's actually the Eplus program that Interval International has. So the first important thing to note here is you must be at least or more than 67 days out from your deposit expiration. Actually, maybe 70 or more, just to be safe. To make sure you do not get stuck in flex change. That's that 59-day booking restriction. Today's date is April the 16th. Let's say your deposit is going to expire in 70 days. That's actually June the 25th. Okay, so what you're going to need to do here is you're going to have to make an exchange with that deposit you have that's getting ready to expire. And you're going to want to make an exchange as far out as you possibly can, more than 59 days from the current date. And you're also going to have to pay a fee if it applies. And you would have been doing that with the deposit extension anyway when you did go to actually make an exchange. So not really an additional fee there in the exchange fee. But like I said, make that first exchange as far out as you possibly can. And with the dates we're talking about here, with a deposit expiration of June 25th, possibly the furthest out you can make that exchange is June 18th, 2022. Essentially, you have to complete travel before the expiration date on the deposit. So just something to keep in mind there. Make that exchange as far out as you possibly can. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add Eplus. Another $89 fee, unfortunately. For the example we're talking about here, if you exchange into a week that checked in on June the 18th, 2022, Eplus is going to expire in June 2023. You've essentially got a 1-year extension for only $89 versus $199. You saved yourself $110 in the process. The next important step, you have to do this before you move any further, before you say, hey, I'm done for now. You have to immediately do a retrade. With Eplus, you get 3 free retrades, and you're going to use one of them up right away. Doesn't really matter what it is. I mean, obviously, if you know where you might want to go, great. Book it, exchange into it. But if you don't, you're just going to book something that's a throwaway for as far out as possible, preferably into 2023, so you don't accidentally maybe forget about it and get stuck into a flex change restricted Eplus retrade situation. I did do a previous video kind of explaining those Eplus rules and information. I'll put a link to it up here just so you can kind of get an idea a little bit more of the nuances of Eplus, since we're kind of just giving a very specific situation or scenario here. So you've done that first Eplus retrade, just a toss away week, maybe Orlando, maybe Las Vegas, maybe even somewhere in Mexico, someplace with lots of supply where you can easily exchange into something. But hey, if you know what you want, go ahead and book it. So you're going to be then sitting on a deposit now that doesn't expire until June 2023. It's actually great. You have a 12-month extension and 2 retrades left. Now, something to keep in mind with Eplus, you can't do an ongoing search, but also realize that with a deposit extension, because you're restricted to flex change 59 days, you wouldn't have been able to do an ongoing search with a deposit extension fee either. So really no loss there. So that is essentially how you extend your deposit using Eplus, saving some considerable money. But I do have a bonus tip here. If you still can't travel by June of 2023, what you can actually do then is you can call up Interval International and say, hey, I can't find what I want. Maybe you've burned those other 2 retrades. What you can do then is actually cancel that exchange and get a cancellation replacement deposit. That cancellation replacement is actually good for another year beyond when the date you actually canceled it. But you do definitely want to do that cancellation prior to 59 days from the check-in of the exchange you have confirmed, just to avoid getting into that flex change restriction. Like I said, that cancellation replacement will be good for another full year. So let's say June 2023 was when you were going to be checking in. In April, you're going to call and say, hey, I can't use it. I want a cancellation replacement. Guess what? It's now good until April 2024. Perfect. Now, maybe you can't even use it. But guess what? In February 2023, you want to be 2 months out every time. You go ahead and do another exchange with that cancellation replacement exchange. You can add Eplus again and get another 12 months on that deposit. So really, you are paying a bunch of fees. You're going to be paying the Eplus fee. You'll be paying 2 exchange fees. So you're probably in the neighborhood of at least $500 here. But you can get essentially 34 months on that deposit as an extension. And because deposits are actually good for 2 years after check-in, you almost do get 5 to 6 years of use, potential use, to be able to use your deposits. Like I said, it does cost you quite a bit of money to do that, and maybe it's just not worth it, but at least you're not losing that maintenance fee investment that you made in that week that you deposited. All right, so there you have it. I hope it wasn't too confusing. I know there's a lot of dates, a lot of time periods, 12 months, 59 days, making sure you don't get stuck in flex change. Just kind of want to hear your thoughts. Have you taken advantage of Eplus to extend an Interval International deposit? Let me know all about it down in the comments below. And if you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the video, helps get it out to more people, maybe looking to extend their Interval International deposits and save themselves some money. And if you want to see more videos all about timeshare, check out the description box below. And for another video about Interval International, check out this one right up here and YouTube. I think you'll like that one down there. Be sure to subscribe. You can do so by clicking on my picture right here. Hit that notification bell. And until next time, remember, the best destination is always a timeshare.